What's going on, Pokemon friends? Thanks for tuning into Paco's Pokevlog once again. I want to make this deck list review because it's been super popular ever since the last regionals. Yveltal's come up. I mean, it's always been top notch, that one card, Yveltal. But now with the new meta and, Garb being so damn popular, this deck just runs really well against almost anything. I mean, the only thing that I found it weak against, just my opinion, that I have troubles with is Volcanion. I mean, unless you get that Garb up really quick, I mean, it's really hard. They steam up and do what they do. And Volcanion is just like a very accessible deck. It's really easy to get a hold of with the baby Volcanions and like those tin Volcanion, whatever. So it's good though. But thanks for supporting. Here's my support to you guys. Alright, so I'm going to start off first with Yveltal, right? Yveltal's Evil Ball, if you haven't used him before, he's just a monster. He kind of reminds me of Mega Mewtwo a little bit because Mega Mewtwo multiplies that energy on your Pokemon and your opponents. So that's just crazy. Plus 20. So that's that little push. And just like Mega Mewtwo, it does the same effect in essence, but it's plus 10. It's cool, but it's a mega. This is basic, less clumpier. Awesome. I actually ran Mega Mewtwo last year. I did really good with it, so I tried bringing it this year, and it was alright. Mega Mewtwo Garb's alright, but it's just not that tier 1 freaking deck. So Evil Ball's really hot. Y Cyclone, believe it or not, it's such a big deal to me, to any Yveltal player, because if you, in the mirror matches and in I don't know, I guess a Mega Mewtwo match, Y Cyclone makes you take your energy away and put it on somebody else, right? So okay, you're attacking for 90, but if you have a Reverse Valley out and you have your Fighting Fury Belt, attached to him, I mean, right then you have that FFB on him, and he already has 210, so that's already talking mega Pokemon status. And that Reverse Valley and the FFB right there, that's an extra 20, so that gives you your little boost where you need it. Like, most of the times, I've always need a little damage boost, because Muscle Band's not in play anymore. So, Y Cyclone's good, just with those mirror matches, and just to keep yourself safe, because I mean, who knows? Somebody could pop out a Lugia, even though I don't see it happening that much. But it's really not safe to have that much energy in this meta nowadays. So you obviously use Evil Ball when you want to, but Y Cyclone's that good little tech to get you out of danger. So that's really good. So I mean, typical setup for me. Hopefully I get an Ultra Ball. Then, you get your Hoopa. I typically try to take out 2 Yveltals and, one Shaman. Set up all you need to with Shaman. And then, a guy who I really like to focus on is Fright Knight Yveltal. He's, the MVP of this deck. And a lot of people actually run more of him. I actually own one, but I've been comfortable with just running one. This Pitchback Spear, jeez, I mean, online and just in real life as well, I've managed to somehow hit and knock out for 4 prizes and to win the game. It happens so many times when the opponent least expects it. They do a misplay, then they're scared, boom, Fright Knight comes out. And the funny thing is, when Fright Knight's just he's just a trip, because you put an FFB on him and people get all confused. They're like, what are you doing, But, if you have Garb or the other person has Garb without thinking, he already just boosted up to an EX level. He already has, 170, 130 plus 40, 170. Now he's running almost like a Yveltal EX HP, right? So, I mean, that with the Reverse Valley and the Fighting Fury Belt, that's another extra 20. That's 80, and then 60 to someone else. I usually target the Shaman just because it's just an easy target. 2 hits from Pitch Black Spear, boom, that's a knockout. And then if you happen to knock out that EX that you're hitting in the active slot, That's two prizes, two prizes, four prizes. Could win you a game quick. Usually it's the ender for me. But yeah, 90x attackers are very important in this deck. And I mean, most people probably run more. I'm comfortable with just two. Oblivion Wing, he's just there just to be a 90x attacker and just to be there, just to have another basic Pokemon. I know this whole deck is pretty much run by all basics, but I just feel more comfortable with that because I have Fighting Fury belts, and I mean I haven't really came across too many Jolteons yet, but for that reason, I think this is like one of my most important supporters in this deck is Pokemon Ranger. Really happy ever since it came out because it just cuts through. I mean, Giratina. Who else? Obviously Jolteon. Um, I can't think of anything else, but I've used Pokemon Ranger so many times where it's cut out. Oh, big deal, Regice. Regice is always like I don't know. Some people just like run straight up like four Regice in some decks. I mean, it's a little crazy, but it cuts through. You know, people never expect you to like be able to cut through it, so it's a big deal. Another supporter I really like in this deck is Ninja Boy. I wasn't a fan of Ninja Boy when it first came out. I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. But I didn't test enough with him. Then I realized, like, okay, I need to get my Shamans out regardless. And yeah, Parallel City's hot for that, you know? You set up, like, typically I'll set up. If I have a really good setup, I'll have my two Yveltals, Hoopa, Fright Knight, or whatever, two Shamans, whatever. And then, like, I'll hit it for, like, three to myself, like, taking out my Shamans and discard pile. But most of the times, you don't really, it's really rare you get that Parallel City turn one. If you do, that's awesome. But if you get the Ninja Boy, then I'd make sure that I'd only play Shaman, only one Shaman on the bench, so I can switch Ninja Boy out for an Yveltal. That's the other reason why when I get Hoopa out, I never get three Yveltals. So I make sure, even if I have to Super Rod back an Yveltal, I make sure I have one Yveltal in my deck, just in case somehow I get a Shaman or Hoopa out in my bench, that I Ninja Boy him out, just for safety. Because you never really want your Shaman out. He's there, but he really shouldn't be there for long, because he's just a easy target. A lot of people are like scared to use Shaman sometimes or whatever, but like I mean you kind of need them to be competitive nowadays, unless you're running like Octillery or something like that, you know. So there's that. Just gonna run through the deck list because I pretty much spoke about my strategy. I run three Ultra Balls. I'm comfortable with it. A lot of people run four, whatever. I just run three. I've just been lucky for some reason. Four VS Seekers, just standard. Trainer's Mail, I used to run three, but I realized I really need those Floatstones and the FFBs, so I run four Trainer's Mail. Four Max Elixirs, for some reason I've been lucky to hit them turn one every time. Like, I'm talking about like three a turn. So they're really good because they power up your Yveltal. I try to focus on powering up Baby Yveltal Fright Knight pretty early. I don't focus so much on discarding and what you call it, dark energies to get the Oblivion Wing set up and all that stuff. I mean, if you're desperate and you're caught in a situation, you have to. Okay, use Oblivion Wing, but I wouldn't advise you to use that strategy. But Max Elixir is pretty cool. Super Rod. I know Brock's Grit is out now and stuff like that, and people really like it, but my problem with it is that it's a supporter, but I can't really judge because I haven't tested with it. So I like just using Super Rod. Doesn't waste my supporter turn, so I like that. Escape Rope. Escape Rope really helps me out. I mean, it's probably helped you out too, but it's just, it gets you out of danger, you know? It's awesome, you know? And also, like, if I need to get out, like, I'll just Trainer's Mail, and then, or Sycamore Trainer's Mail, hopefully get that Escape Rope. So, I run 10 energies, and I run 2 DCEs. A lot of people probably find that weird. They're like, okay, 2 DCEs, dude, like, you need to power up your Yveltal. I don't really like special energies in this current meta. mostly just because everyone runs enhanced hammers, and it's really easy to take off, and also the more energy you have, the more they can hit you and stuff like that. So I mean, special energy, I just feel like it's just setting yourself up for disaster, but you still kind of need it in some instances, so I just run two. For some reason, I always get them. I don't know why, but just mostly focus on my basic energies. So there's that. Like I said, Baby Yveltal, Oblivion Wing, Fright Knight, 3 Yveltals, 2 Shamans, 1 Hoopa, 3 Fighting Fury Belts. They're mostly for 2 for the Yveltals and 1 for Fright Night Yveltal. Sometimes if I'm in a bind, I'll FFB Shaman so they can't Lysander it up and hit it. That kind of surprises people. A lot of people don't like that tactic. I mean, it's kind of like a desperate measure, but if I have to, I will. Uh, 2 line, Trubbish, Garbador. Nowadays in this meta, I advise almost every strong deck to have Garbodor. That's just how it is right now. 3 Sycamores for draw support, 2 Ends. I had 3 Ends at one point, but then I changed it out for this one, Giovanni Scheme. Giovanni Scheme was that one last card in this deck that I kept switching around. I tried with Hex Maniac, I tried with Switch, I tried with a third Floatstone, I tried with no, not Brock's. That's about it. But I keep coming back to Giovanni Scheme. The reason why I like it, a lot of people hate it actually, to be honest. But the reason why I like it is just that it's that little extra push when Yveltal's attacking and you calculate it and you're like, crap, I'm missing 10, I'm missing 20. I haven't been in a situation where I have used it. I like that it's also draw support, so I can actually count it, even though it's not that good as N and Sycamore. I can still count it as a draw support. Instead of like Hex Maniac. I don't focus so much on Hex Maniac because I have Garbodor. Even though I know in some instances Hex Maniac is good in this deck, but I've just been comfortable going back to Giovanni Scheme. I just like it. It's just kind of like that, like last minute, I'm stuck in a bind, let me get out of this thing. So it's alright. But if you don't want to run your deck with it, then just change it, whatever. 2 Floatstones. Obviously, I need it for the Garbodor. I mean, if you're running a deck with Garbodor, like, well, people joke about it. They call it Garbodor Spirit Link, but that's usually what you want. I wouldn't advise putting a Floatstone on Yveltal. Maybe putting a Floatstone on Hoopa if you really need to, just to get out or whatever, because a lot of people Lysander Hoopa because they know that he has 2 retreat costs. So that's that. Spoke about Pokemon Ranger. Spoke about Ninja Boy. Pokemon Center Lady. This, if you don't know already, heals 60, heals status elements. This card is really good for mirror matches. It just, they don't, I mean, nowadays I think people are using it a little bit more. I feel like it was ignored last year, but it's just good. I mean, they hit you, you heal, you hit them back, they hit you again, it's not enough, you hit them, they're knocked out. So that's that. Lysander. A lot of people are running more than one Lysander. I just need room in my deck, to be straight up. So one Lysander. But Lysander's really good. I mean, if you can run two, run two. I wouldn't run more than two, though. Olympia. I love how everybody talked crap about this card when it first came out in Evolutions. In Generations. But it's probably my favorite trainer in Generations, just because a lot of people have been using Vileplume variants, and you get an item log, you need to get out, or for some reason you just VS Seeker into Olympia and you switch out, heals 32 damage, so that's a plus. So Olympia's always got myself out of danger all the time. So there's that card. Perilous City, as I spoke about before, it gets you out of, gets your Shamans out, gets your Hoopa out of the bench. It's also pretty good. If you guys haven't noticed before, this whole like -20 thing on the bottom. If you're going up against a Greninja deck, because somehow Greninja's still a thing, it's -20. Same thing with like Water Toolbox, even Volcanion, it's -20. So Leaf, Fire, and Water, it's -20. So even though your bench is only 3, like it's still good just because it's -20 or whatever. I wouldn't advise using it like that, but if you need to, do it. Reverse Valley, like I spoke about before, it's that extra +10 to your dark Pokemon. So yeah, it's that extra push. So that's my deck list. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys think I should switch anything out. Personally, I think I'm gonna keep it just because it's been running really well for me. And I hope you guys do well in your league challenges. And hopefully this helps any beginners currently thinking about going into the competitive field and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, guys. Here's another one for you guys. Appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Bye.